Hey guys, today is our section on a worldview. And this is the beginning of our section on this whole year, which is our topic of apologetics, which means to be able to understand and explain why you believe what you believe. And to start off with our apologetics year, our first question that we're working on today is what is a worldview? And so I want you to take a moment, and if you don't have paper and pen with you, please pause this video and go grab some. And then I'd like you to take a moment and define this question. What is a worldview? And just go ahead and define that in your own words. Take a moment to pause the video, and then press play when you're ready to do the rest of the lesson. All right. Hope you had a chance to write that down. You know, when you think about worldview, probably the best explanation of this is the lens through which we see the world. I'm going to say that again. The lens through which we see the world. That is the way that we interpret, understand, and interact with the world around us, and how we take seemingly small events or actions and say, that's what that means to me. Now, the thing with worldviews is that everyone has a worldview. Everyone does. But not everyone recognizes that they have a worldview or have even maybe thought about their world very much and where it came from or how it affects their life. I'm going to give you an example of some underlying worldviews that are out there. And again, on your piece of paper, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to imagine someone that has the following worldviews and write down how you think they would behave and act. So the first two worldviews that I want you to write on is the first one is life has no meaning. We are all an accident. And then the second one is life has meaning. We are not an accident. So please write down how you think someone would behave if they feel like life has no meaning and we're all an accident, and versus how someone would behave that believes life has meaning and we are not an accident. Go ahead and pause your video and come back when you're ready. All right, here is the next two worldviews I'd like you to write about. The first one is, it doesn't matter how you live as long as you're quote unquote happy. Or, it does matter how you live, it's not all about being happy. And when you think about that word happy, be careful with it because it seems like a natural thing that everyone wants to be happy. But what if killing bunnies or stepping on babies makes someone happy? What does that mean? So again, write these ways that you believe someone would behave. First, if it doesn't matter to them how you live as long as you're quote unquote happy, or then it does matter how you live and it's not all about being happy. Take a moment again and pause the video and write out how you feel someone would act with those two different ways of looking at the world. Good. Now you've probably noticed that what your underlying worldview is directly affects how you act and how you live. And there can be some very drastic differences between those two and between your actions. And this is why so often people argue about it seems like it's the very same thing. But because they have two very different worldviews, they look at that very same thing in two very different ways. Now, being aware of our personal worldview helps us to make informed choices in life based on how we see the world. And it's also important to understand your worldview because as you continue to get older and you continue to make hard choices in life, and you might wonder, what should I do in this particular situation? Understanding your worldview, and in particular as confirmation students, a Christian worldview, will help guide you through all those difficult choices in life into a way that is God pleasing and healthy and safe way to live. Now, I don't want you to think, though, that worldviews are simply about opinions, about how you might feel about something, because they're not. When we think about our worldview, we want our worldview to be the closest thing to how things really are in life. And part of what we'll be learning throughout this year of confirmation is that the Christian worldview really is the closest worldview to how things really are, to who God is, to how we are to live our lives, and to where we are going. And so when we evaluate any worldview, they have to answer 4 important questions about life in a coherent way that makes sense and reflects the reality we live in. Here's the 4 questions that any worldview has to answer in a good, solid way. Number 1, where did I come from? That's a question of origins. Number 2, why am I here? That is the question of meaning. Number 3, how should I live? The question of morality. And number 4, where am I going? The question of destiny. Again, where did I come from? Why am I here? How should I live? And where am I going? And as you are able to formulate a coherent worldview and to understand what a Christian worldview is in your life, it then helps you to inform you about the harder decisions and questions in life. All right, that's it for our lesson today. In your homework assignment, part of the assignment is writing about what is a worldview and why is it important. And then I want you to tell me things about your worldview, about right here and now, what is it that you believe? Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.